Recently, I was asked about how real estate was going, and I had to say that it's so stressful that I listen to political podcasts to relax at night. All right, let's talk about it. This is The Real Story with Adam and Sherry. I'm Adam Hamalian,
And I'm Sherry Hutchens.
and this is where two broker associates talk about all things real estate. Hey, Sherry,
Hey, Adam, that sounds scary.
but you can relate.
I can relate. We've had a bumpy couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, what we keep telling people is that who ask that question is that we're having to work harder for the same amount of money
Yeah.
than we did a few years ago, and that really is okay. No, don't cry over us. We're happy to work hard. In fact, it's we're able to demonstrate kind of our skill set a little bit better when things are a little bit harder. Because there was a time when anybody who had a license for 4 minutes could put a sign in front of a house and it would sell,
Yeah.
and we're having to earn our commission in lots of different ways that we haven't anticipated. So
Well, I think we're going back to pre-pandemic when this is how real estate worked. Things didn't automatically sell the minute you put them on the market, and we didn't get only all cash, over list, non-contingent offers. We had to do our jobs and prove our value to our clients and help them through the biggest, and sometimes the most difficult transaction of their lifetime. So
yeah,
we're just back to normal.
yeah. And if we were to look at the national landscape, or if we went back pre-recession, so 20 years ago,
Mhm.
it was really common for homes to be on the market 30 days. That was just 30 to 45 days was a standard marketing time.
Yeah.
And things just kind of got wonky when we started. Well, first the recession changed everything the other direction, and then coming out of it, we got to the point where if things didn't sell in 10 days, there was something wrong with that house.
Absolutely.
And so we have a little bit of hangover from that, where we're trying to get back to what might be a normal market.
Yeah.
The other thing is it is very common for things to sell 3 to 5% below their list price,
Yeah.
and that was normal. And we've been so far away from that kind of a market space, it feels unusual to us, but actually it's more normal than it is unusual if we look back at the history of real estate across America.
Do you remember at one point, either in 2020 or 2021, a house in Lafayette sold for $1 million over the list price?
Yes, yes.
I mean,
Everybody
that's just
talk about
crazy.
that. Yeah,
Unheard of.
yeah. Well, that's what happens when you list it for, 750,000 and it's worth 2 million, right?
I think it was listed fairly transparently. I don't think it was listed for $1. You know
No,
how we joke
yeah,
around and
yeah,
say,
yeah.
I could
It
list it
wasn't,
for a
no, no, I was
dollar. Yeah.
exaggerating how low it was. But yeah, that was the part of it. It was listed with the idea that it would get bid up, and the
Yeah.
fact that it went a million over was just crazy and not really warranted.
Yeah. Well, I think we're starting to see, bless you.
Sorry about that, everybody.
You're allergic to real estate.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
maybe those political podcasts,
Yeah, right.
watching to relax, which is hilarious.
I know, right? Can you? That was more relaxing than this.
Um, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about things that went way over list price. Oh, we're starting to see homes that are listed for less than what people paid for them, which seems alarming because that's what was happening in the recession. But actually, the difference is people have skin in the game now. They're big down payments, or maybe they paid all cash. And so when they're listing things for less than they sold for, while it seems alarming, and it's a terrible thing for a seller to have to do that. Don't get me wrong. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely some pain in the losing money if you sell for less than what you bought it for. But fortunately, they're not. We haven't seen short sales where they are selling for less than what people owe.
correct.
Like you were indicating, they still have equity.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, if we get to that point, I think it's the FHA loans that are probably at risk for that because people only put 3.5% down, right?
right. Yeah.
Where they get into those
And
loans. So,
right, because even in the escalating market, there weren't people with FHA loans because they were so competitive. The sellers were choosing offers that had a larger down payment. So there really, in our market, were not that many FHA loans.
right, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the our topic for today was, oh, actually, before we go to the topic for today, we didn't mention last week about the Fed rate being reduced the
Hmm.
previous week.
Yep.
Um, have you seen any changes in mortgage rates, or did that seem like that was baked into the
I think
market
that
already?
I think it was baked into the market. I know our lender said sometimes when they are fairly sure that the rate is going to come down, the actual when the overnight Fed rate is going to come down, then the mortgage rate sometimes is, baked in a month in advance,
Yeah. Well,
which
because it takes that long for that loan to close, so they're not borrowing that money until, um, 30 days out.
right,
And to be clear, the Fed rate isn't tied directly to the mortgage rates, right? The
correct.
mortgage lenders are going to loan money based on their desired profitability, not based on cost of funds. So
Yeah.
it used to be that you could find indices that were cost of savings that were linked to cost of savings and cost of funds, but
Hmm.
they don't. It's not. It's a business. Whatever they think they can make, they're going to do, and to be competitive, right? This isn't a capitalist society. To have a better rate, to be able to do more loans, then
Yeah.
get cheaper money, they will. So,
Yeah. I think it's triggered a small bit of refinancing.
oh,
So,
interesting. Yeah,
as refinances died when the rate started going up, there was no way that anybody was sitting on a 2.5 or 3% interest rate was going to refinance. And people who bought at 7 or 8, there wasn't an opportunity. So, if you bought in sevens or eights, 6.5, I don't know, is that worth refinancing? Maybe. I guess it
yeah,
depends on what kind of loan you've got.
yeah. Well, there's going to be this huge gap for a long time of people who have 3% mortgages
Hmm.
that they're kind of stuck in place because they can't sell and buy and have the same mortgage payment, even if they're buying straight across.
Right?
So we're limiting those resales to people who are downsizing really, or relocating out of the area. But the up sizing buyer is nowhere to be found, or very few and far between.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. We've got 4 listings at the moment, and it's a different market than it was even a year ago.
Mhm.
But we had a fairly busy open house over the weekend. I was there on Saturday, that you were there on Sunday. I had 20 or 25 groups come through a very small house, 1,200 square feet, in 2 hours. It was very busy.
Yeah.
And I think you were fairly busy on Sunday as well.
Not quite that busy, but yeah, we had good traffic. So
Yeah.
so same house that we did for our client. How many people after walking through said, "Where's the third bedroom?"
At least half of them.
Exactly. Yeah. It is the cutest house. Probably finish wise, I don't think we've had a house that had better finishes. I mean, we've had comparable finishes, but never had one better than this one. And it just is so nice.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable space to be in, even for an open house.
Yeah.
But it's a specific buyer that just wants a two-bedroom house.
Yeah.
And our seller loved it. It was great for her, and there's a number of people who have taken good, serious looks at it, and I'm confident we'll get in the contract this week based on the traffic this weekend.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, 3 years ago, that house would have had 10 or 15 offers and would have been gone in the first weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're back to normal. And as different as it is for all of us, normal is good. It's better for everybody when we are in a normal market.
Yeah, sellers might not agree with you, but okay.
Sellers probably do not.
So,
So,
sellers liked it when all they had to do was whisper that their house was going to be on the market, and
uh-huh.
people said, "Here, take all my money, and I'll name my
Yeah,
child after you."
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it's a buyer's market?
I
Are you
think
calling
I
this
think
a
it's more
buyer's
balanced. I think that buyers are being a little pickier,
market?
being reserved a little bit more,
Yeah,
and that's fine. That they're able to negotiate some repairs, but because of the equity that most of the sellers have, they don't have to sell.
yeah,
That there's
yeah,
options available to them. So
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Hey,
Interesting.
officially our topic today was going to actually be about moving because you moved recently, and we just thought we'd throw some things that people should think about or consider or hacks for moving. And we could probably talk about this subject for 2 or 3 hours and have various clients come on and say what their experience was. But since you just had to do that, I
Mhm.
was just curious. So, like, you're in people sometimes take a year to unpack, and I'm just curious, kind of, it's been a month and a half or so, maybe 2 months.
Yep.
Where are you in the unpacking process?
So it's been about a month and a half. Um, and I have a garage full of boxes that I don't know what's in those boxes. Some of the boxes in the garage were never unpacked from the last time I moved, and they just got moved over here. So whatever's in them, clearly I don't need that stuff. Um, but my house is on the verge of being I'm probably a weekend away, a good weekend away from having a house that looks normal and doesn't have boxes sitting everywhere.
All right. Well, speaking of that, I can see over your shoulder across the hallway some empty storage tubs that you used to move.
Oh, you have good eyeballs. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, our friend Terry Lynn loaned me about 25 of those big plastic tubs because she just moved.
Oh, yeah.
And she said that it was just a great way to, pack things because you could just throw them in there and you knew exactly what it was. And you weren't, killing trees by buying boxes and things like that. So I would put them in the garage, except I don't have any room in the garage because I still have more stuff out there.
So, was it helpful to have the clear tub so you could see? Because, like, so we just did some work in our kitchen and we packed our kitchen up in cardboard boxes,
Yeah.
and we're beginning to move back
Borrowed
in.
from me.
Yeah, that I got from you. Yeah. And I'm trying to, like, where's the box that has the measuring cups in it?
Yeah.
But because they're all dark, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Was it helpful to have the clear tubs?
For things that didn't need to be wrapped, yes, I could see, oh, that's full of clothes or that's full of, tablecloths or whatever. But for things like glass measuring cups, like for example, they've got to be wrapped up anyway, even if
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
one of those tubs. So I think
Did
that
you,
they
did you
were.
pack your own kitchen, or did you have a mover pack your kitchen for you?
So I would not recommend that anybody do a move the way I did the move. It came up very suddenly. I didn't really, I've been kind of casually looking at houses and thinking I was never going to find the right house. And all of a sudden it appeared, which, as you know, we say that to clients all the time. You never know when it's going to appear. Um, and we were super busy in August when this all started to happen. Typically, that's a slow month for us, as you know. And all of a sudden, I was packing and I thought, oh, I can do this. It'll be fine. I can, every night I'll just do a little bit and I don't really have that much stuff. Well, I have a lot of stuff. And the moving day came August 22nd, and I just decided to be as calm as I could and just move whatever was packed. And then I had another 10, or I guess 9 days on top of that where I could get the rest of the stuff moved out. And you probably watched me just being totally fed up with the process, trying to keep up with work and trying to be a good partner and not, push all this work off on you while I was trying to move. And finally, I just lucked out. I found some guys on lug.com and they came over and I said, all of this stuff needs to be packed up and moved to the other house. And I left. And you know me, I am a major control freak.
You don't say.
And the fact that I just said, here's the keys, there's the boxes, there's the wrapping paper. I need this all to go to the new house and walked away from it is very telling. I was just done with
What?
it.
Well, what was really alarming was when you started telling everybody, including our clients, you should never move again. And I'm like,
Exactly.
you should never buy a house. Stay where you
No,
are. I'm like, talk about terrible marketing.
Oh, you
Or
don't really
hire
want
us.
to
You'll
move.
never
Trust
want to
me.
move. It's horrible.
I just moved. Don't ever move.
Don't ever move. Like
It's our new marketing plan.
that's exactly
I do believe I said those words a couple times.
more than once. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a lot of work to move. And you know that because I had a hernia surgery in December, for a long time I wasn't allowed to lift anything heavier than 5 pounds. And then they upped me to 10 pounds. There is nothing in a move that weighs only 10 pounds.
No, no, not at all. Yeah.
So you were nice enough at one point to come over. What I was doing was I was packing in place. I'd drop a box, I'd fill it up, and I'd tape it, and I'd leave it there. And that's like just a recipe for an accident because there's boxes everywhere. And you were nice enough at one point to come over and move a bunch of stuff into the garage so that I could walk around my house again.
Well, the
But
boxes weren't so bad because I could just put those on a dolly. But some of those plastic tubs, you loaded up. They were like over 100 pounds.
yeah, the
Like that
movers
was,
commented on that as well.
I was not happy about that. That's
Sorry.
okay. Well, that makes
How
me
does
think
it make
about like all those the see-through tubs. Is that where you have your quilting fabric so you
a
can
lot of
see
a
all?
lot of that was quilting fabric, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And none of that is unpacked. That is still sitting in the room in the exact position that the movers dropped it because I can't move anything and I haven't had time to unpack it. So it's move quilting fabric is a low priority at the moment. So
Yeah. So local moves, you can hire a mover. There's a
yep,
couple of really good ones locally that we refer people to.
yep.
Or you can do like what you did and what you got the idea from Terry Lynn, who moved and did some of it herself and called Lug and had them do the rest of it. And that's,
Well, Anderson Brothers did the big move.
oh, right, right, yeah.
They did the big move, and then Lug helped out. Um, yeah, Terry Lynn, I think, used Lug for everything.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. Um, and so what about so besides the tubs, because the tubs are kind of a little bit hard to duplicate. You had somebody you can borrow them from, but
Mhm.
buying all those plastic tubs and then when you're done, what do you do with them?
They're like
So
$20 a piece.
yeah, but right. So most people are using cardboard boxes because they're less
Yep.
expensive. And as much as Terry Lynn wants to save the trees, at least they're recyclable. So
Exactly. Or we
what did
pass
you do
them
for
on
boxes?
one
What did
client to a next. So
yeah, yes, yes. If you need boxes, the realtor community is the exchange, the cardboard box exchange company also.
that's right. Right.
So but where did
Last
you
week it
get the
was money
cardboard boxes?
laundering. This week it's box laundering. We
That's
just
right, box
pass them on.
laundering. So what did you do for the cardboard boxes?
So I did a lot of research because boxes are not inexpensive, and I found that U-Haul had the best prices, significantly better prices, and they have this great deal that if you don't use whatever boxes you don't use, they will buy back from you at full value as long as you haven't used them.
Nice. All
You
right.
just pick them up, take them back, and they buy them back from you. So that is a heck of a buy.
Yeah, that is nice, and they're conveniently sprinkled all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, doing the U-Haul thing for both renting a truck or a trailer or all sorts of stuff, it sometimes feels a little sketchy because there's often people looking for work around those places, and you're
Yeah.
like, I don't want to hire anybody, I just want to get the truck.
Yeah.
But I've never had a bad experience. I feel like
Not at
they are
all.
good at what they do.
Yep, yep, absolutely. And I've had an opportunity to not only buy boxes from them lately, but also to rent. I rented a 9-foot van when we were cleaning my mom's house out
Yeah,
a few years ago. And it was the weirdest thing because it was a van that just had a few miles on it. I mean, I don't know that anybody had ever actually used it. Um, and for 19.95 a day, I
yep,
mean, it's a steal.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
The last U-Haul experience I had, my nephew wanted to buy a Nissan Z
I remember this
Datsun Z from
vaguely.
like a 1985 version of it, and it was a project car. He had been researching them, and they lived in the Central Coast, and they found it up here, like in Pleasanton, and so I went and bought it for cash for like $500 at this shop
Oh my gosh.
and got a car dolly and towed it up to my house, and then they rented a flatbed from San Luis Obispo and picked it up and drove it back there, and it took him like a year to get it running.
Oh
uh,
wow. But he
and
did, huh?
he got it running, and
Yeah.
left this fall to go to college in Colorado, and he drove it from California to Colorado.
Oh my God.
And it was it did have some challenges halfway there, and my brother-in-law was following him in a real car. Um, and they were, well, I won't tell their stories, but anyway, the car made it with a little bit of tweaking, made it there safely, and quite the adventure. But you love every young man to be able to learn how to work on a car with his dad, and actually his grandpa came down and helped work on it, and for a
Yeah.
while it had t-shirt. Chair covers, seat covers, because it's a 30-year-old 40-year-old vehicle. And so he just had
Doesn't sound like a great car for the snow, though.
yeah, I'm not, yeah, I think he's trying to sell it actually
Yeah.
now that he got it running. But it took a long time to get it smogged and all the other stuff to get it licensed the first time.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway,
yes, U-Haul's a great resource.
oh yeah, that's what we were talking about moving. Sorry, I got
Yeah.
distracted by U-Haul.
The other thing there's two you and I have used this professionally in our business, lug.com, lugg.com. Great resource. All they do is move things. You go online to the app, and or you can do it online or you can do it on your phone on an app, and you just say, here's what I need. Here's what size truck I need, and here's the day I need it, and here's what you're moving, and people show up at your house and they move stuff for you. And you and I have referred clients to it when they just need. We had a house in Orenda that just needed a bunch of furniture moved to the garage, and the people who lived there couldn't move it. And we called lug.com and they came out and did it. And or like Terry Lynn did a full move with them.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then also, sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was going to just say that they're great whether it's you're moving from house to house or within the house, and if you have hauling, they'll do hauling too. It's a great way to just get an extra set of hands if you don't know any high school kids that need extra money.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me rephrase that. They're better than the high school kids because they know how to move stuff without damaging your walls.
Yes, exactly. I had a few things at the very end, and Lug did not have anybody. And I went over to thumbtack.com and found some guys that were really, really great too. So, all these people out there doing gig work, it's
Yeah,
kind of fascinating because in the old days, when we needed someone to move a few boxes or some furniture, it was kind of word of mouth, anybody. And here you can just go online and do it.
yeah. Well, when I was younger, I was that guy. My brother and I convinced. Well, my brother did the legwork. I just kind of lived into it. But the convinced my dad to let him use his pickup truck, and so we just did odd jobs, and we just had a steady income. And I just don't feel like that kind of stuff is as available as it was. But in a gig economy like this, it's easier for adults and not just high school students to take advantage of that.
I have a friend in Baltimore who owns the consignment shop, 30,000 square feet or something
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh. Okay.
And I was talking to her and she just lost one of her movers because people come in and buy stuff and they want to have it delivered to their house. And she kind of provided that service, but this guy quit. And I said, why don't you use lug.com? She had never heard of it.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Is it a California thing?
I don't know. It's an app.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's local.
Are we more tuned into technology and things like that out here because it's right in our backyard?
Yeah, I think that she just probably hadn't heard about it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not. So
All right. So
anyway, moving.
boxes, the clear tubs can be helpful so you can see what's in them.
Yeah.
Also, long-term storage, that's good.
Yeah.
Uh, Cardboard boxes from U-Haul. You can also get them from places like Home Depot and some
Yeah.
storage companies. Um, but I would recommend U-Haul as the best quality. Rent vehicles yourself at U-Haul. You can rent a vehicle at Home Depot these days. And lug.com to help you with your back. Obviously,
Yeah.
local movers, you're going to pay someone to do the whole thing. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you learned? I'm sure we could go on for a long time, but anything else? Any other words of wisdom? Did you like start in one room and unpack one room fully, or did you
No.
mark the boxes like, hey, this is a kitchen box, this is a bedroom box, this is a quilting room box?
I did. Everything got marked, so they were delivered mostly to the right room. So the number one goal was to be able to, make my bed the first night and sleep and take a shower the next morning because I'm pretty sure I went to work the next day instead of stay home and unpacked. And then second priority was kitchen. That took a little bit longer. I mean, I couldn't even make tea in the morning at
Oh,
that point because just because I
well, you couldn't find your electric tea kettle.
couldn't find my tea kettle, and then when I found it, it was leaking, and I had to throw it away, and then I had to order another one, and I didn't couldn't hadn't unpacked pot, so I couldn't just boil water on the cooktop, and so it was like, okay, I'll just stay out of the kitchen for a while and go to Starbucks in the morning. But the other day, for the first time, I think it was Sunday morning, I actually used the stove for the first time since I moved in
Oh
August.
my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, so it is a lot of work. So
All right.
I'm getting there.
It's it's hard sometimes to get through a whole work day and want to come home and put your feet up and then to have to deal with where's my stuff?
Uh-huh, exactly.
I think
Yeah,
the you said something earlier which was really classic is um you got to channel your Marie Kondo that you move stuff that you didn't touch while you were living at the your previous house and you were there for 5 years, I think.
6, I think.
Yeah. And I'm kind of in that process right now of wanting to go through some stuff and minimize what I have because at some point your stuff owns you. And
Yeah.
my dad was the worst example of this. When he died, my brother and I had like, four 20-yard dumpsters plus another hauling of just metal because
Oh my
he was
gosh.
he wasn't he was kind of a pack rat, but it was initially it was more useful stuff because he managed properties and so he
Hmm.
had all this stuff partially being a depression era kid,
Yep.
straighten a nail rather than go buy a nail,
Yep. My
uh,
mom
re
too.
reuse a board instead of go buy new wood. So he had that kind of as his ethos, and then he had these responsibilities of these rentals that he was taking care of. And so you're like, well, that might be something I use sometime, and he just kept it. Well,
Yeah.
eventually you build an inventory like that and you forget where stuff is or you can't find it or it gets damaged in the process. And so it was just became a huge mess that my brother and I had to deal with when he passed away. So so from that experience and helping clear out my in-laws' house and belongings, like I'm definitely committed to not leaving stuff to my kids to have to deal
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
And so kind of starting now, like what are things that I have in my garage that I haven't touched for 5, 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I think part of it is, when Melissa and I were first married, we moved on an average every 2 years for the first decade.
Ugh.
I was so exhausted from moving. Although the thing when you move that much, you become much lighter because you had to
Yeah.
pick like you just, everything you had to pick up, you had to pick up everything you owned and move. And
Well, when you were younger, you didn't have as much stuff.
exactly. Yeah. And, um, so essentially we haven't moved since that first 10 years, the house that we're in now. We did briefly move out to an apartment when we did a remodel, but that wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
And and but yeah, so we've had 20 plus years of accumulating stuff that didn't get cleaned out because we moved every 2 years. So I kind of feel like I need to be proactive.
So I took a lot of stuff to Savers, which is kind of a for-profit goodwill, or this in the early days of packing up. And then as I got closer to the move, I just wasn't able to do it, and I figured I'll go through it when I get here. But we have a great story about me donating a wine rack. Um,
If you're watching the video, not listening, I'm pointing to it because it's in the
yeah.
background of my image.
Yeah, off to the left. I decided I didn't need two wine racks, and I put it in my car and took it off to Savers and donated it. And I thought somebody else can use this. And about 2 or 3 days later, I come into the office, and sitting in our office is that wine rack. And you've got a bunch of video stuff on top of it, and you were shooting a video. And I said, "Where did you get that wine rack?"
I
And you
got this
said,
great deal
"At
at
Savers."
Savers.
You bought my wine rack.
Like,
How much
you
did you pay
donated,
for it?
I
Like,
spent $15 on it. Why didn't you just give it to me?
that's what I said. If I had known, I would have brought it into the office.
Yeah.
So I'm
Before we
trying
bought
to
some
get that way.
external gear to do our videoing, I was putting my laptop on that at the right height so I could sit in a chair because otherwise the laptop was looking underneath my chin and you could see my double chin. So, but now we have these nice cameras and these nice microphones and
Yep.
it makes a
And a
difference.
wine rack.
But there's no wine in it. What's up with
No, there
that?
isn't. We should donate it to Savers.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you are interested in finding out any of our contacts for movers, or if you want to chat with us about what it was like to work with Lug or Task Rabbit, or any of those other resources, we'd love to help you out. Um,
Yep.
any other final thoughts for this week?
Uh, I'm not going to say don't move. You should move. Call us. We can help you move.
So believable and enthusiastic.
Yes.
All
There's so
right.
many beautiful houses out there. You'll love it.
Dorothy was right. Even if Sherry doesn't believe it, there's no place like home. We'll see everybody next week. Bye now.
Bye.